Good evening, and welcome to another expletive deleted episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your excruciating and exacerbating host, Voice of Doom. Good evening. I guess I'll do another screed on the latest bunch of crap that's been going on in the news, having to do with this so-called freedom of speech. Wanted to tie in a few things. Go back to my old ways of tying in weird things about King Solomon and Skokie, Illinois, Fred Phelps, John Stuart Mill, and Joel Feinberg. Freedom of speech is at the forefront right now. Now, first of all, I want to say that my thesis that perhaps many of our leaders are not of this world still seems to hold true, because see a preponderance of inexplicable behavior by people. And I really don't know what their end game is, but I notice as I've lived on this planet for a long time that there are people that have a certain job, but they really want to be something else. Maybe they want to be little girls. I don't know what they want to be. But apparently a lot of these people that have serious jobs that are supposed to be part of solving problems are actually people that want to be on stage and entertain. And I will mention a couple of people that caught my eye over the last few years. Dr. Francis Collins, former director of the NIH. Somehow he's wanted to be some sort of vaudeville guy. It's like, I'm in charge of your lives. I'm in charge of shutting down society. And I'm going to sing a song on the ukulele on my retirement. This is weirdness. You know, we want information. We don't want songs and dances. Arthur Godfrey, or whatever the hell his name is. You know, amateur hour. Now we have this Mary Poppins chick that, I thought it was kind of quirky to do some sort of a song about parody about how the wrong information can be bad, so we better stop it from happening. So we do a quirky little song, but there's all kinds of quirky songs. This lady's obsessed. So just get her a job off Broadway somewhere. She can be in the chorus line. Sing one. Singular sensation. Anyway, let's go on. Solomon. There was a fable or a story of Solomon where he heard people's grievances and passed judgment on, disputes. So the two women both claim on the same child. Now, if they have today's technology, they might be able to figure out who gave birth to the child, but they might not know which one is the mother because it might have been a father. But let's just say that Solomon had to decide. So he says, let's cut this baby in half and share it between the two of you. That seems fair enough. And one claimant said, fine with me. If she can't have it, nobody can. And the other one said, no, I'd rather you spare the child and give it to her. This is a very famous thing you learn in Sunday school. First one, because it's very touching and sentimental. So Solomon says, you're obviously the mother because you would rather lose the child than have it be killed. It's very simple deduction and reasoning. Now we have a situation where some people want to throw away certain disinformation and misinformation because it could be misleading and it could be leading away people from believing what should be believed. And there's other people that say, just let everybody say what they want. Now, who do you trust? I mean, just think. I know it's late in the evening, but just think. Who do you trust? Somebody that says, we have to keep disinformation and misinformation away from people because it's going to be bad. Or people that say, just let everybody see what they want and let people make their own decision. It seems like a simple thing. But I understand how hate speech and certain things, like if you say, for instance, oh, what's something random, that Petri Dish and his entourage did a horrible job at withdrawing from Afghanistan, and it was probably the worst way possible in human history to have done such an operation. That would be construed as it's a threat to marginalized people. People in tents on the streets of Seattle are being offended by that statement. So how are we going to take this? You tell me. Article 19, why did I write that down? The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That you have freedom of speech. It's a human right that was bestowed upon us by the United Nations, the UDHC. John Stuart Mill, harm versus offense. He basically said in the 1850s that you can say whatever you want as long as you don't harm anyone. You can offend all you want. You can insult all you want, but if you say, I'm coming to get you, or I want people to gang up on you and let's all gather together at this guy's house and hang him, that's not correct. Harm versus offense, and I don't know why I wrote down Joel Feinberg, 1985, but I think that he was stipulating something about freedom of speech, and that I think he took the other side, that if you offend people, that's bad. I have to check into that more. What is hate speech? Hate speech is the public speech that expresses hate or encourages violence towards a person or group based on something such as race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. So, hate speech that's what that is. And I think most people don't want to even indulge in hate speech. Most people that I see indulging in hate speech are the people that are allowed to do it because they have a certain hue. And I wrote down there ought to exist the fullest liberty of professing and discussing as a matter of ethical conviction any doctrine, however immoral it may be considered. So even if you want to talk about things like pedophilia, oh my God, I said the word. You can discuss it. You don't act on it. You don't do anything about it. You can discuss lots of things. But if you start saying this can't be discussed because it's going to lead people astray, well, we're getting into a different kettle of fish. Now, when I hear a new form of bureaucracy taking shape, and it has the name Ministry of Truth, I think I'm very glad the conflagration is very soon to come, because we can't keep going on like this. It's not going to happen. So there's going to be big explosions, and we won't have time to worry about this stupid stuff about trying to stop information. That's going to be a great project. Who's going to decide what's misinformation and disinformation? I mean, basically, you'll stop everybody from saying anything, because unless you can prove it, I can't prove that we're 96 million miles away from the sun or whatever the hell we are. I mean, I didn't measure it myself. Take other people's word for it. So we're going to just be not saying anything, which will be fine with these totalitarians who want us to be proles, the people that survive, and they will live in their dakas or whatever they live in. Their chalets. up in the German Alps. But freedom of speech is an important thing, and I will probably continue saying things that will be offensive if I can. Try my best. Now, Skokie, when I was a liberal idiot back in the 70s, I thought that these people shouldn't be allowed to say what they're saying because they're Ku Klux Klanners and they're hateful people. And I didn't want to hear what they had to say, and I thought they shouldn't be allowed to say what they had to say. And then the ACLU, which is pretty much anti anything having to do with that kind of speech, said they have the right to have a demonstration and say what they want to say. And eventually I learned that it's true. And when you give them a chance to say what they have to say, then other people usually try to drown them out anyway. And when you do listen to what they're saying, you discard them. So you don't have to worry about the fact that when you shut them up, they might have more power to spread their doctrine. Now, I'm going to say things that'll probably be getting me banned, but what I want to say is I talk to an awful lot of people that say, you know, it doesn't seem right. This is free speech. That people, okay, I saw a commercial on the radio. Saw it on the radio. That's how bad I am. Dedication. And the dad saying to the daughter, love your blackness. And I tell her every day, love your blackness. And I listen to that, and it's like, okay, you know, affirmation, whatever. Those kind of words really are irritating. But, okay, love your whiteness. Be proud to be white. Love your race if you're white. Doesn't come off the same way, does it? Comes off a little bit like, love your whiteness. Who do you think you are? Well, we all know why. Because the white Caucasoids ran the place for so long that now they have to pay the piper for being who they were, being the slave owners, being the oppressors, being Mr. Man, Mr. Bobo. Okay. So now they pay, and love your blackness, love your Hispanicness, love your Micronesianness, but don't love your whiteness. Now, a lot of white people of Caucasoid persuasion just think that's kind of weird that you can't do that. We're not allowed to do that. And it's absurd. When you say, I should be allowed to do that, you realize how stupid it is to have affirmations. So there's my 2 cents on that. And there was another time in the 80s when there was some people that were very irritating, and everybody wanted to shut them up because they were the Westboro Baptist Church with Fred Phelps saying God hates fags, and the fact that they allowed gays in the military, that's why it's good that these people are being blown up. They turned everything into a homophobic rant and had signs in front of funerals. They were very irritating. And everybody wanted them banned, but we didn't. And they fell apart. And some of the children of this maniac hater turned out to be advocates for LGBT. So you see how ironic things turn out. Just let things go and be natural. It's very simple. You try to force the issue, Ministry of Truth. Come on. That sounds like nothing but trouble. And will they have a Ministry of Truth when the Goppers take over these Congress? They'll have a Ministry of Truth when Elon takes over Twitter, and then, well, that won't be in 2024, but if perhaps the whole balance of power shifts Do you think they'll still want a ministry of truth? We'll see about that. I think we all know what they'll want. They'll want everybody to be able to say what they want because these coppers are in charge. So I'll leave it at that. I thought it was not too bad. I got some information there about how you really got to let people just say whatever. Their own stupidity will out. And then you know they're idiots once they open their mouth. So let freedom ring, and they do hate speech. So we're going to have to stop them from that. But thanks, YouTube, for letting me continue. And I'll bid you a good night.